afternoon, and welcome to BBC Two.
Hello and welcome to Back to the 80s, the podcast that travels back through time in a rose-tinted DeLorean. Yes, folks, it's that time of the week again where I, Glenn, aka Dreadwind, kidnap somebody in the old nostalgia TARDIS and whisk them back to a time that was simpler, although, let's face it, it probably wasn't. When Colin Baker ruled as the Doctor, this is the hill I will die on. And, there were things like miners' strikes going on, and that wasn't good. And football hooliganism, that wasn't good. See, sometimes I like to make out that it wasn't quite the nostalgic happy fest that everybody wants to think it was. It wasn't. It was a mixed bag like any other decade. But tonight we'll be talking about something that's actually quite nice and pretty cool. And joining me this week, we have friend of the podcast, an all-round lovely person from Eccentric Earth. It is, of course, the amazing Amy Walker.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good, yeah. I'm happy to be back. Really, really excited to come back again after the last time.
Yeah, that seems like it wasn't a long time ago, but it feels like a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't think it was too long ago, but it feels like it's been months.
just before I was on holiday, it was. So, technically it's a couple of episodes ago, but in reality, a few weeks, but never mind. Have you been up to much? Have you been doing anything cool that we need to know about?
Well, I myself went on holiday during that time, so that's probably why it feels like it's been a while for both of us. We've had nice holidays between then.
Yeah. Nice holiday? Restful?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It's just nice to get away from everything for a few days and just unwind. Even though you're not really going anywhere fantastic or doing much, just getting away from the house is nice. Yeah,
that is always nice. And then you got to go back to work.
Yeah, that was the less nice bit.
Yeah, that is, but never mind. I'm busy as balls last week myself. I was building bookcases and doing IKEA stuff, and because we've been remodelling the house, and we thought I kind of want to remodel the nerd cave as well because it's getting a bit full, and I'd like a bit more space. So instead of the sort of 4-level metal bookcases that were great, by the way, we still have kept them. We haven't got rid of them. I now have, what are they called? Gremlins bookcases, I think they're called. Or Guernsby or something. Anyway, something weird from IKEA. And they're quite tall, and they've sort of got more levels on them, so I've been able to get all my stuff in the bookcases. So all the DVDs and all the books that I need to, as well as all the toys as well. So it's looking a bit nicer in there.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It looks very cool.
Yes, I do need to do a video of it. Just to say, look, this is it now, guys. Complete with the record player and the cassette player. It's looking proper 80s in here now, which is always cool. And I have bought more records. I went to they've got, at the local tip, they've got a shop. So if you're getting rid of stuff that isn't quite tip worthy yet, and you think, oh, do you know what? I'll donate that. They can sell it. It's fine. You go in there and they've got loads of vinyl records, because of course they have. So, bought things like a couple of Max Bygraves records, because why wouldn't you, you know? It's amazing. Sing along a Max, going on holiday. It's amazing. And a couple of Star Wars soundtrack by the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra or something it is. So it's not official. And the Close Encounters one as well. Kind of doesn't matter when it's third party, when it's orchestral music, because it could be anyone anyway. And then a really weird one called, what's it called? I've got it here. TV Favourites. And it's as always with these things, it's third party, it's session musicians or whatever it is, and it's things like Rupert the Bear and the Play School theme. Knock on the door. And yeah, the Magic Roundabout, which is really creepy. They combine that with the Play School theme, because the Play School theme ain't that long. Here is a house. Windows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock on the door. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the Play School theme. Which is hilarious. So they combine it with that and things like, what else has it got on there? Oh yeah, Doctor Who, and it's a really bad version of it. It's a really bad version of the Doctor Who theme. But I suspect I've heard it before because I think it's the theme that Ron Grainer wanted before Delia Derbyshire got her hands on it. So, because it's trumpets and it's weird theremin and it's things like that. So of course Delia got her hands on it and turned it into the classic that it is. But beforehand, oh no. No. And a full 7-minute version of the Pink Panther thing.
Wow.
But it's the film one, so that's not the Pink Panther. Do you ever watch the Pink Panther films as a kid and wonder where the Pink Panther was?
Yeah, always. I was always waiting for him to turn up. Kind of like I was expecting like Roger Rabbit-esque, like an animated panther to come walking in any minute.
Yeah, like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helping Clouseau out. Interesting fact, did you ever watch the actual cartoon series of the Pink Panther?
I caught bits and pieces of it. I didn't really watch massive amounts of it, but I did see the odd episode, yeah.
Because obviously they had the Pink Panther himself, they had the Anteater, which for some reason sounded like Jackie Mason, the Jewish comedian. Very, very odd. And then they had a character that was clearly Clouseau, but was called the Detective. Because they're not allowed to call it Clouseau. With his little mate who goes, si, or no, oui. He always got Spanish and French mixed up for some reason. And it's clearly Clouseau, but they couldn't call him Clouseau. Oh, they had that weird thing with the stork as well. The stork and the caterpillar. Which is essentially the same as the Anteater one. It was weird. It was a weird cartoon, was the Pink Panther. And then the Pink Panther could sometimes talk and then sometimes not. Yeah,
that was confusing. I never understood the rules.
I don't think he had any rules. That's the thing. And he was a gentleman, a scholar, and an acrobat, apparently. And also, a little bit gay.
Aren't we all?
Well, apparently so. Studies have shown. But yeah, apparently, I would totally say the Pink Panther's gay. Not because he's pink. Because he's just a bit gay. He goes around in the smoking jacket and the cigarette holder and talks like Noel Coward. So I reckon that probably fits him in there. At least bisexual. Of course, he's a cartoon character, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know. There's a thing on Twitter that says your favourite character is bisexual. Have you seen that?
No.
And all it is pictures of characters from things behind, with the bisexual flag behind them, saying, like, Steve Rogers is bisexual. And that's all it does. Steve Rogers, Tony Stark is bisexual. Terry Wogan is bisexual. And it's like the weirdest thing, but it's like, I kind of want to know who's next. Weird. Twitter's a weird. And they said that has spawned loads of other ones. So you got like pansexual and then, what's the other one? Rules the World. And apparently there's a Rules the World flag, which is green, different shades of green for some reason. I don't know. Twitter's a confusing place.
Yeah.
But anyway. Enough for this Twitter bollocks. Let's move on because we have stuff to do. Primarily, we need to go to a break. And the break this week is quite a cool one. It's from Anglia, which is one of my favourite ITV regions, from the 7th of August, 1987. So it's just as though we're changing their image from the knight, the pewter knight. Can you imagine? That's your ident, a pewter knight. Turning on a turntable slowly. Imagine going in with that pitch. Amazing. Anyway, First one is for Kiora, and it's not the one you think. It's one that I, to be honest, don't remember. But it is very annoying. You will find out. It's more annoying than it is racist. To be fair, it's not that racist. But it is really annoying. Next one's for Angel Delight. Yum, yum, yum. And Hugh Laurie's doing the voiceover for this one. Now I want Angel Delight.
Is that who it was? I was watching through it. I was thinking, I know that voice, but I can't place it.
He did loads of voiceovers and stuff in the 80s. He did Kestrel Lager, I think, without Stephen. And then obviously they did like Panama Cigars, didn't they? Alliance and Leicester. Compact and Bijou Mustard. Compact and Bijou. I was listening to a Doctor Who thing today, and somebody, I think the Doctor or Perry or someone, described the TARDIS as Compact and Bijou. I think it was actually Sylvester McCoy. But anyway, somebody said it was Compact and Bijou. And the first thing I actually said it out loud at work. I didn't mean to. It was like Compact and Bijou Mustard. Compact and Bijou. Because, yeah, why wouldn't you? Anyway, next one is for Bold 3. With the most entitled little shit on the planet. Here, Mum, muck it up your cricket kit. Wash it for me. Come on, bitch. It's like, fuck off, kid. Also, why do the parents sound quite posh and the kid's clearly from East London?
They must have relocated and the kids picked up a different accent.
Yeah, there must be one of these sort of right-on parents who said, oh, no, the kid's not off to private school. He's going to go to a pub, like a normal school. Because we're going to make him, like, we're not going to have him entitled. And yet he is entitled. Because he plays cricket, which is the mark of the entitled. And I want to know what he's doing with the massive red stain on his cricket kit.
Post-cricket punch-ups.
The Bodyline scandal of 1987. Horrible little shit. But it's Ray Brooks doing the voiceover on that one. Next one it's hilarious, but I do think it's legit. It's a Vortex bleach. And it's one of those typical, we tested it in a lab. I actually think this guy, because they have a doctor on it, who sounds like that. Well, I tested loads of that, and it all went away, it all killed that. It was great. So I tend to think that he's legit. I think he's an actual scientist.
Yeah, he's too bad an actor to be an actor.
Unlike all the actors who go on Oral-B adverts, all these dentists, they're not dentists. Especially the one who says, I don't need healthy gums, it'll be fine, won't it? Right? Wrong. She's an actress. Totally. She's orange for a kickoff. I mean, come on now. Next one is for Sun Bingo, and all I put next to it is twats. You're still doing adverts for that. Because you got that comedian, that Jade Adams, who I thought was cool, and then she did adverts for Sun Bingo, so now I think she's a twat, basically. Like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Why would a comedian do an advert for the Sun in any capacity?
Sell out.
Like when Tim, that is selling out. That is totally selling out, isn't it? It's just, I'll just take the money. You know, regardless of the company that it is, I'll just have the money. It's like, nah, you can't get away with that. Anyway, moving on. Sugar Puffs next. Stickers. They're giving away free stickers in Sugar Puffs, something they are unequivocally not allowed to do these days.
The honey monster in this advert is terrifying.
I put here cold dead eyes.
It's just he's got no neck.
He doesn't have eyelids.
And his shoulders are
eyelids.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if these adverts were still running when I was a kid. I don't remember them. Because I think I would, because this is horrifying even as an adult.
Yeah, it's nearly as bad as the Kinder Egg Humpty Dumpty.
Mm.
Nearly. Not quite as bad. Nothing's as bad as that. But anyway, they don't even call them Sugar Puffs anymore, do they? Is it Honey Monster Puffs or whatever they are?
Oh, I don't know. I've not had them in about 25 years.
Well, no, because you're an adult. And they're fucking horrible. That's the other thing as well. But yeah, the sugar tax thing, they've renamed them Honey Monster Puffs. They're still Sugar Puffs and they're still horrible. Next up is CMC Carpet, which is a local Norwich, Anglia based carpet company. I don't know what CMC stands for, and I kind of want to know.
Carpets. Carpets. Yeah.
Carpets. Carpets.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? Works as well as any other. Last one is for, I remember this stuff, it's Camay soap. So it's soap which won't dry your skin out. Because that was, to be fair, that was a thing. If you used a bar of soap in the 80s, it would immediately just dehydrate your skin. And you would turn into a literal prune. I used to use one called, was it Fresh or Frisch or something? Frisch, not Frisch because that's detergent, but something like that. But Camay was, I guess, Dove, the Dove of its day, because it had moisturiser in it. So if you used it, it wouldn't dry you out. I mean, soap is horrible, to be fair. Anyone who uses soap is a bit minging, I think, really, because all you're doing is just putting your dead skin and germs on a bar of soap, which festers in the corner. It's, this is where you say, I use soap.
If I did, after what you said, I wouldn't say. So I'm just going to say no comment and let you wonder.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like people who take a bath to clean themselves. It's like, no, you can get into a bath and relax, but you don't get into a bath to clean yourself because it's person soup at the end of it.
Yeah. If you're going to take a bath, have a shower, then have a bath to relax in. So at least you're clean and not sitting in filth.
Exactly. Or have a shower after, and then you clean yourself off from all the bath.
Yeah.
Sloughing off all the crap. But don't have a bath to be cleaning.
Yes. Ball soup.
Ball soup, thanks. Funny soup, Amy. I both agree on ass soup. That's the worst. But anyway, the guy who does the voiceover for that was Howell Bennett, I think, who played Shelley. And I used to love Shelley. It was a great show. If you've never seen it, you see it. He's basically a world-weary journalist. And nothing about him being a journalist. He's just a sarky twat, and I really appreciate that. So, very funny show. Very, very funny. Anyway, that's your ads for this week. We will be back in a little while to talk about some critters. Bye-bye for now.
Disney's DuckTales will return after these messages.
Kiora, I'll go get the water.
Crow doesn't know Fruity Kiora also comes ready to drink.
Here's the water.
The thing about Angel Delight is that it tastes deliciously creamy. It's also very, very light. Bird's Angel Delight. Don't let go of your glass.
Night, Mum.
Night, boys.
Mum, are my cricket things ready?
Cricket things? You mean these? Oh, now you tell me. Well, you'll just have to wear them dirty.
Oh, Mum, it's the team photo tomorrow.
Well, you'll just have to fold your arms.
Oh, Mum.
Thought you said he could fold his arms.
Well, if I can't get this out in one go, he'll still have to.
She's right. If she uses an ordinary biological powder on fibre-deep stains like blackcurrant juice, one wash may not be enough. But let's go back and start again, this time with New Bold 3. New Bold is a boosted biological powder with a penetrating power to clean fibre-deep stains. First time, more of the time. Leaves things soft, too.
Bye, Mum.
Oh, don't forget your kit.
Thanks, Mum. You should do it.
New Bold 3 cleans first time, more of the time.
Neil, your lab's been testing bleaches for us. Which one's best?
You mean which kills germs longest in the laboratory?
Yes.
Of the bleaches on the market, we did find one overall winner. Look at these samples. We took them from laboratories after a number of flushes. Here's the bleach that came second. Germs are beginning to breed again, but the winner is still killing germs.
Care to name it for us?
It's Vortex.
Vortex kills germs longer. That's scientific fact.
Jingle, jingle, bingo.
Hang on to your new Sun Tringo Bingo card. Now 3 chances to win on every game in Britain's biggest free bingo, starting Monday in the Sun.
Aggies found one of the new sticker kits free in Sugar Puffs. Whoever does the best dive gets to keep them.
I win.
There are 6 different sticker kits to collect free in Sugar Puffs.
CMC, the sail to sea, for carpets and furniture, CMC.
Sale now on.
There are lots of ways to help keep your skin looking beautiful, if you've got the money, the courage, and plenty of time. But Camay's one little beauty treatment you should use every day, whatever else you do. It's made from pure, natural oils to give a lather so rich and creamy, you'd think it came from a jar. Camay, the everyday way to beautiful skin.
And now, back to Disney's DuckTales.
Hello, and we are back. Hope you enjoyed the ads as much as we did. So, Amy.
Yes.
You are back here to talk about a film, and it's your choice, because it usually is the guest choice these days. A 1986 film. Do you want to tell us what film you're going to be looking at?
I picked the first Critters movie.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
Any reason you picked that?
Mainly because it had been a while since I'd seen it, and it seemed like a good excuse to watch it again. Critters is a weird one because I never watched the films in order.
Right.
I had the third one on video as a kid. I have no idea where it came from, who got it for me, if I borrowed it from one of my uncles and never gave it back, but I had that and watched it and found it to be quite fun because it's kind of Gremlins to the extreme.
Yes.
And it was really cheesy, and it had like just some funny horror type humor, kind of like Gremlins again, but they pushed it a bit more.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, that was an 18 in the video store. It was Critters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gremlins was a 15. I mean, people do think that Gremlins is like a nice, happy family film. I remember when it came out, it was never pushed as that.
No, like the second one, fair enough, but the first one is incredibly dark and horrible. Like just that story of, I can't remember the character's name, but the female lead of her dad dressed up as Santa dead in the chimney for weeks. It's like, that's horrifying.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates' character. Yeah, absolutely. And it was Joe Dante. I mean, Joe Dante had done, I think he did The Howling, didn't he?
That sounds right, yeah.
Which was a horror film at the end of the day. So Critters sort of was much more of a definite sci-fi horror film, which you saw a lot of in the 80s as well.
Yeah, they used to do the sci-fi horror together quite a bit more so than you get nowadays, which is a shame because they work so well together.
Well, like I said, The Blob, which is a great film. Both versions, but the 80s version especially. I was watching parts of that the other day, and it's still, because a lot of it's physical effect, it's still quite gnarly and quite cool and horrible. And I suppose with Critters there's a lot of physical effects in there as well. So again, it's sort of it works in its favour. I'll give you a bit of context for it then. So it's directed by Stephen Herrick. If you've never heard of him, fair enough, but you've definitely seen some of his films because he's done some classics. 3 years after Critters, he directed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And then a couple of years after that, he Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead. A couple of years after that, The Mighty Ducks, for God's sakes.
Oh, wow.
So, which is a great film. And then The Three Musketeers, which is my favourite version of that film, which is the Chris O'Donnell one, the one with basically the Brat Pack in there. So Kiefer Sutherland and Oliver Platt.
Isn't that the one with Tim Curry in it as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Cardinal Richelieu. And it's also got Michael Winslow as Roquefort as well. I love Michael Winslow. He's brilliant in everything. He's not in enough stuff. And everybody says, oh, yeah, he's that dude out of The Crow. No, he isn't. He's Roquefort, motherfucker. No, you forget it. Guy Gisborne. But after the Three Musketeers, it gets a bit weird. He directed Mr. Holland's Opus.
Okay.
Would you believe? And then 101 Dalmatians, the Disney version.
That's not bad.
Then it starts going a bit weird after that. He directed 1998's Holy Man. That's the one with Eddie Murphy. Where he plays the preacher monk type guy who goes on telly and shopping telly and and then he did Black Sabbath Time Machine, which is the Black Sabbath music video thing. Rockstar, Life or Something Like It, which I've heard of it. Man of the House, don't know what that is. Dead Like Me, Life After Death, don't know what that is. Direct to video anyway. Into the Blue 2, The Reef. And he sort of tails off after that, but he did start directing a lot of stuff for television. So he directed in 2015 Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colours, which is obviously a Dolly Parton film. Then an episode of Rush Hour, Hawaii Five-0, Dolly Parton's Christmas of Many Colours, Circle of Love, and then MacGyver. So he's been around, he's done stuff. But Critters was his first one. Stars Dee Wallace, Emma McWalsh, Billy Greenbush and Scott Grimes, who is currently working with Seth MacFarlane in The Orville. He plays the pilot. He's very funny. He's on American Dad as well. But he was... You'll know him if you see him. Let's put it this way. He was all over the place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Creature effects were by the Kyoto brothers. And it's basically about a group of small furry aliens with carnivorous behaviour who escape from two shape-shifting bounty hunters who land in a small countryside town to feast on its inhabitants. As you said there, Amy, a lot of people think that it is inspired by Gremlins. However, Stephen Herrick has refuted this, points out that the script was written by Muir long before Gremlins went into production and actually underwent rewrite to reduce the similarities between the two films. I actually believe that because that kind of thing can happen and does happen.
Yeah.
One of the most famous instances of that was Dennis the Menace. Because obviously you've got British Dennis the Menace and you've got American Dennis the Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Both created in the 50s. 40s, I think 50s. Both at the same time. Both completely independently of each other. And there would have been no way for either party, because one was in America, one was in Britain, and this is pre-internet, well pre-internet, they would know, there was no way either one could have known what the other one was doing. But they both came up with Dennis the Menace. And it's pretty much the same sort of character.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
It's like the one that jumps out to mind like that in films is you had Armageddon and Deep Impact in the same year.
Yeah.
Which,
although that one...
You know,
I'm a bit more cagey about it, to be fair, because Michael Bay did one and he did Armageddon.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Armageddon's the better film of the two.
Yeah, if you're going to sit down and watch one and you pick Deep Impact, I'm leaving the room. So
it's dreadful. It's dreadful.
It's just boring. At least Armageddon's got a bit of fun to it.
Yeah, because Deep Impact is, we're just going to let it hit. And then Armageddon is, we're going to nuke it.
Yeah, let's nuke the asteroid.
Let's nuke the asteroid. I see nothing wrong with this plan.
Oh.
But anyway, but yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
So Critters then. So what memories do you have of it?
For the first one, mainly it's how dark and compact it is compared to some of the later ones.
Yeah, because its running time is 85 minutes. It's less than an hour and a half.
And the action pretty much is all one night, all on one farm in one house. It's like the second one, it spreads out over the town, and the third one, it's in one building, yes, but it's a bigger apartment building, and you have scenes before that over a couple of days, so it kind of feels longer, whereas the first one, it feels so fast, even within the short runtime. It's like it's the night from hell rather than a big event that happens. It's centered on this one poor family.
Yeah, I mean, that's what no money will force you into, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
Because the budget on it was $2 million.
Wow.
I mean, you couldn't make a motion picture like that for $2 million now.
You wouldn't even get an advertising budget of $2 million now.
No, absolutely. I mean, it made it back. It was $13.2 million it made.
Yeah.
Which, that's quite a good return.
No wonder it kicked off a franchise if it got that kind of return.
Yeah, sadly, it is the very definition of diminishing returns, though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. The third one had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. They can legit say they had an Oscar-winning actor in it.
Oh, well, this first one, much like the first Nightmare on Elm Street had Johnny Depp, this one had Billy Zane.
Oh, I completely forgot he was in it until the rewatch, and I actually cheered when he came on screen. I was like, oh God, Billy Zane's in this. That's amazing.
I really like Billy Zane. I really like him.
He's not a great actor, but I love him in everything.
It's one of those things, like, he should have been huge.
Mm.
You look at him, and he is classically handsome.
Yeah, very chiseled good looks.
Lantern-jawed and everything. It's just, I guess he came at the wrong time, because he came sort of the late 80s when that sort of look was out. And it was your Johnny Depps and Richard Grieco's and all those type of people. The boyish good look, pretty boy, that was in. So Billy sort of left in the cold a bit. If he'd come like 10 years later, like when Clooney came.
Mm.
Although, to be fair to him, he was in Titanic.
Yeah.
The pretty boy didn't beat him. So I think his character live in that.
Yeah, he tricked his way onto a boat by grabbing a kid.
Whereas DiCaprio dies needlessly. Absolutely. There was room for two people on that.
Oh. And
Rose
I don't know
killed
how
him.
I didn't think that. That's two Critters actors in one film together as well.
Yeah. And not only that, but also one of the voices of the Critters, according to Red Letter Media, is Kate Winslet. No, it isn't.
Yeah, I looked into that. I found nothing to support that one. It would be great if it was true.
She would have been way too young. Although looking at the cast list, you've got Ethan Phillips in it, who obviously is Neelix.
Yeah.
He was in loads of things, to be fair.
I was watching through that. My boyfriend was watching as well because he had nothing else to do and was like, yeah, why not? And we're watching through it and Ethan Phillips comes on the screen. It's about 2 or 3 minutes into him talking. I go, shit, is that Neelix? And we both sort of went really quiet and concentrated on the screen. It's like, yeah, that's his voice.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, he pops up in everything at some point, does Ethan Phillips. He's a very big genre actor. You've also got, as one of the voices of the Critters, Corey Burton. Now, if you don't know that voice, you should, because especially if you're Transformers fans, he was Shockwave and Spike in the original series, Megatron in animated, and so many more things as well. Big voice actor. So yeah, you've got a lot of people in this film. Sort of, you will have seen them in other things. So yeah, what is it about this film that particularly sort of attracts you? I mean, are you a big fan of monster movies anyway, or is it sort of this one in particular?
I do like my monsters. I love things like your very Americanized horrors with monsters like Aliens and Predator, things like that. But I love the cheesy stuff as well. I have seen and loved every single Godzilla film. Love Power Rangers and Super Sentai. So, any time someone gets in a dodgy suit or there's an animatronic which is weird and unusual, I dig it. And Critters is like that. Those little things when they're just clearly balls of fur being rolled around the set. It's brilliant.
And kind of like evil tribbles.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Although, if you cling on, tribbles are evil anyway. So.
Well, maybe tribbles are just critters that haven't unrolled yet. Maybe the Klingons knew the whole time.
Maybe it's like Pokemon. Maybe that's what tribbles evolve into.
Oh. Now,
So
there's
now
a
I'm
crossover
talking.
episode I want to see of Star Trek.
Now I'm talking Amy's language. But yeah, I agree, absolutely. I quite like the stupid monster movies. And of course, in the 80s, like horror that was its era, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not going to say there's not much horror around these days, but certainly I don't think it's as good as it was in the 80s. Because I think it relies too much on jump scares.
Yeah, and the thing with nowadays, it's like the 80s, you had The Critters, The Thing, Predator, Big Trouble in Little China, The Blob. You got all these creatures and monsters and gross, scary makeup effects. Nowadays, it's mostly ghosts. And don't get me wrong, I like a good ghost movie, but it doesn't have the same fun about it as the full-on monster movies.
I think it's because ghosts are cheap.
Yeah.
I think I'm not even being sarcastic. I think that's the, you can just CGI a ghost, or if you put sort of a lighting effect, you don't have to show a ghost necessarily.
Yeah, it's either a person who you half fade out so they're see-through, or it's like Paranormal Activity where you have doors swinging open and closed and you don't even need special effects, really.
Yeah, it's all Atmos, isn't it? And
yeah.
Like I say, loads of jump scares. Whereas this, it's physical effects, like you said, people chucking balls of fur around the set.
Yeah.
People getting killed for having sex as well, because obviously Billy Zane actually gets killed by one of the critters when he's about to have sex with his girlfriend April.
Yeah. Poor Billy.
Poor Billy. He was just about to get his end away when he got his end cut off.
And I do love it when the critters attack in this, because it's clearly the actors holding something against them and thrashing around and screaming. It's proper 60s Star Trek acting.
I love that. That's one of my favourite things ever when shit like that happens. It's like Red Dwarf when Lister's got the polymorph.
Yeah.
It's that. It's totally that. When the kebab's trying to kill him. I love that sort of stuff because it's how do you make that look real? You can't. But you can only do your best, and they do their best because it is cheap and they're getting paid nothing. So, what do they care?
Yeah, they got paid and they got a franchise out of it, so they can't feel too bad.
I can't feel that. I don't think the actors got paid that much. The other thing I like about it is Dee Wallace is obviously she plays one of the main characters, Helen. And it's the second time that she's been visited by aliens. The first obviously being E.T. That must have been deliberate.
I did pick up on a few things about it, which I think they did deliberately. Like in E.T., the kid heats up the thermometer to trick her and stay home, and she falls for it. In this one, she catches the kid out, and it's like, no, that's bullshit. And then I think later on in the movie that one of the critters starts talking to the E.T. toy in the bedroom.
Yeah.
He's like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then just rips it to pieces. It's like, they definitely put in some bits and used her because it was like, we can have some fun with this and make those connections.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to do it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
The other actor in it, the other big actor is MMA Walsh, who has been in apparently everything.
Yeah.
If you look at his filmography, he's been working since 1969 and he's still working. He's got 2 films in post-production. That's major film he was in. This. I know he's 83 years old. He's just never given up. Scorpion King 4 was his last film. I didn't even know there were 3 of them. Sorry, I knew there was the first one, which is awful, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's what the Scorpion King subtitle. The Rock's paying his dues because that's what he's doing. The amount of shitty films he was in, but MMA Walsh. I mean, he's been in everything from this to Blade Runner, to Slapshot to Serpico. He's been in everything. MMA Walsh.
Yeah, he's one of those
really,
guys
really
who you're going to have seen him in a dozen things, but you won't remember what things. But you'll know his face as soon as you see him.
Oh, he's like Philip Michael Hall and Joe Don Baker and people like that. You will. He's sort of this staple American character actor.
Mm.
Harry Dean Stanton is another one that I would put in that bracket as well. who sadly passed away. But it's like when he turned up in the first Avengers film, I got very excited because that's Harry Dean Stanton, motherfucker.
Yeah,
it's kind of a big deal, you know. Especially if you're David Lynch or oh god, what's his name, Wim Wenders, because he loved him. But yeah, so whenever these actors turn up, I always get very excited. Wilford Brimley is another one as well. Diabetes, that dude. There was an interesting thing the other day. So Mission Impossible Fallout has just come out. I think that's what it's called. Tom Cruise is older in that film than Wilford Brimley's character was. Wilford Brimley's character was in Cocoon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, I know it's Hollywood and, you know, there's ways for them to cheat the aging process, but some of these actors, they just don't age at all.
thing is, though, you look at Tom Cruise, he's not had much work done, if any.
No. You can tell he's aged, but he's just aged well.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was saying that the other day to my partner. It's like, yes, Tom Cruise looks as old as he's supposed to be. He just looks like a man who takes really good care of himself.
Yeah.
Because he's Tom Cruise. So, you know, he keeps himself fit and trim and you know, he's obviously does all his own stunts, which is he might not be doing it after this one because he got told off a lot because he kept really injuring himself because he's old.
It's like Keanu Reeves. He doesn't. He's got a portrait in his attic that's getting older because he hasn't changed in 30 years.
Well, Keanu Reeves is the same age as Boris Johnson.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah?
So Boris is aging twice as much for the both of them.
Well, apparently so. Speaking of Keanu, Bill and Ted's coming out soon as well. Next year, hopefully, or the year after. So again, and I think it's Stephen Herrick. I think he's going to direct it as well. I think.
Nice.
But we shall see on that one. But yeah, it's Critters as a film. There's not much plot to it. It's like Commando in the last episode that we did with Duncan. There's no plot to speak of. It is just a series of things that happen.
I think that's why they added all the stuff with the bounty hunters going through the town looking for the critters and getting into trouble, because it's like, I think they looked at the film and went, shit, this is like 40 minutes. How do we pad this?
Yeah, thin. It's kind of, the bounty hunters reminded me a lot, kind of the bounty hunters in Suburban Commando.
Yeah. Those guys were fun.
One of which was The Undertaker, which is hilarious, but it's pre-Undertaker, if I remember correctly.
No wonder you guys don't talk.
Oh, it's a shit film, it's Suburban Commando.
It's shit, but you can't help but like it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's my opinion of it has changed with Hulk Hogan being Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
But apparently he's coming back. There was a big announcement, or there will be a big announcement, apparently. So Hulk Hogan may be coming back to the WWE. I kind of don't want him to.
That's understandable.
Just stay away, Hulk. You've tarnished your reputation too much already. No more. But yeah, the bounty hunters totally reminded me of the ones in Suburban Commando. I do love a good bounty hunter, though. Especially like the one that couldn't make up his mind as to what he should look like, so he just got a blank face.
I know Ugg, the main one, stays around for all 4 films.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
But I do like Lee, because if I remember it right, the second one, he starts transforming into Freddy Krueger at one point.
Yeah.
And then he looks at like a centerfold in a porno mag and changes into her, complete with the giant staple in the stomach. It's like they just have a bit of fun with him, and he has no character whatsoever, but it's nice to have him around.
Yeah, it's sometimes you get characters like that who just they don't really add anything to the plot. But it's nice to have them around. I would say the 2 demons in Hercules are a good example of that.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't add very little to any plot, but it's just nice to have them around. That kind of character is always fun. But, yeah, I mean, they do get a Freddy reference in there, because in the mid-80s and late 80s, Freddy Krueger was the hugest thing in the world. Never got it. Never understood it.
Yeah.
Always felt slightly uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. It's like, I enjoyed bits of those films. Each one has something in it that's okay, but on a whole, he never really grabbed me.
I think the original and the third one are fantastic.
Yeah.
The second one's very interesting because...
The gayest movie ever made.
Yeah.
And I do count hardcore gay porn in that category as well. It's gayer than that.
It's gayer than Top Gun. And Top Gun's pretty gay. Not in a bad way. Come on now. But yeah, there's a lot of gay subtext in Freddy 2. I mean, that's the whole thing, basically. He's gay and he hasn't come out. And so the fact that he gets together with that girl at the end is like, no.
Yeah, no. Totally just his beard.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to fuck Freddy, which is funny because he's not Freddy's type because he's not a child. That's the major thing I was had a problem with Freddy Krueger. It's like, yeah, hero worship him. He's a paedophile. You realise that, yeah?
Yeah.
Although saying that, the third one is cracking. The third one's probably the best one. And
amazing theme song.
Yes, and good deaths as well. Very inventive deaths. They're probably the best ones. Because you got the girl with the TV. How's she supposed to have killed herself by doing that? Of course, the person who finds her body, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, everybody did. He hoped you'd forgotten. And you got obviously the guy who's the puppet, the marionette. That's one of the best movie deaths ever. I think is that one so clever. And of course, Karen. Is it Tarin with the syringes when he kills her with the overdose? It's horrible, really horrible.
That one's awful.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely pretty nasty and sort of critters. You can't really say about the deaths. It's just people get eaten.
And not even that many. It's two people in the first film. There's like two people and a cow and an ET toy. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, they for a horror film, it doesn't have a big body count, which is surprising for an 80s monster movie.
Especially an 1980s monster movie as well. But I don't know what. I guess they were going for comedy rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. I think that's what Freddy became in the end as well, is a comedy, whereas Jason, not so much. Jason, not so much there, but Freddy certainly did, and Critters was always a comedy. I don't think of other comedy horror films. Fright Night, I guess that was a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. There's got to be more comedy horror films. Let's have
Evil Dead.
Oh, Evil Dead.
Although after the first one, so the first one and the remake, not really, but after that, 2 and 3, it kind of embraced it.
Yeah, unlike Alvin and the Chipmunks meet Frankenstein.
Tremors?
Tremors, definitely Tremors. That was a great film. Chud.
Mm-hmm.
Chud was supposed to be a scary one from the 80s. Child's Play.
Yeah, that went very comedy.
Went south, didn't it? Elvira, obviously all the Elvira stuff. Driller Killer, apparently, according to this. Driller Killer is a comedy. I don't think that...
No, I wouldn't agree with that one.
I mean, dark comedy, maybe, but that and The Evil Dead were the original video nasties.
Yeah.
They were banned until 1999.
Wow.
Would you believe?
I didn't realise it was banned until that late.
Yeah, 1984 to 1999, when a cut version was approved. The full uncut version was finally passed in November 2002.
Jesus.
Took us that long to get over ourselves.
It took that long for someone at the BBFC to look at it and go, actually, this is just shit.
I would... I would... I don't know. I would contend shit. Because it's a good film. It's all right for what it is. It's, it's very cheap. But it's all right. It's okay. It's not a great film, certainly, but it's a funny film, unintentionally. Deathbed, obviously, the bed that eats. Basket Case. Beetlejuice, I guess, is a horror comedy.
Yeah, I guess. I never saw it as a horror. It's a Tim Burton film, so it's dark and weird just for the sake of it.
Dark fairy tale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, it's the least. It's both the least and the most Tim Burton films. Because it's not as Tim Burton-y as some of his other stuff. However, some bits are very Tim Burton-y.
Yeah, I just don't like Tim Burton enough to be able to watch it. I think the only thing of his I can kind of get on board with is I really enjoyed Sleepy Hollow. Although
I like Sleepy
I've
Hollow.
not seen that in a few years, so I don't know how I'd feel now. But I remember it being really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. I don't mind some of his stuff, but it's when he gets all proper Tim Burton, I can't switch off. So it's like Edward Scissorhands, I can't abide it. It's just a fucking terrible film. Or, things like Corpse Bride, I can't be doing with it. Nightmare Before Christmas sucks ass. I'm sorry, that's going to really annoy a lot of people, but it's shit. I'm sorry, it's shit. And it's so fucking cliche when everybody, I love Jack Skellington. Fuck off. You fucking walking, talking, sinking emo cliche. Some people get it tattooed on them. It's like, I don't want to know you. Go away. People are going to be really angry with me on that one.
Yeah, you're going to get emails on that one.
Beloved child icon, Jack Skellington. Fucking pedo. Hate it. Shite. But anyway, I think, do you know what? They keep rebooting these 80s films. I think Critters is up for a reboot. I think it needs one.
I would not be against it. There's certain ones where it's like the originals are that good that if they tried remaking it, it would feel kind of weird. But Critters, it's fun, but it's not great. So yeah, go for it. Do something fun and inventive with it. And as long as they're still practical for the majority of the film, it'd be great as well. Like, don't go full CG Critters. Have like little animatronic things. That would be brilliant. That's
the thing, innit? It's got to be physical with something like that.
Yeah.
I think they remade The Blob again. I think they remade it. It wasn't as good as the 80s one. The 50s one is just a 50s film with Steve McQueen in it. Obviously, it's awesome because of that, but it's not a great film. Why would it be? The 80s one is fantastic because it's really, really, like I say, physical effects, gnarly, really well done, horrible. It's great.
Well, it's like the Thing prequel they did.
Oh, no,
that sucked because everything looked awful in CG.
Looked like a video game.
Yeah. If that was practical effects, it would have been an alright film.
Yeah.
Because the plot and everything was fine. Right. Yeah. But it was the effects let it down.
Yeah. I agree with you. Because obviously The Thing is one of my favourite ever films.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
And, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Love a bit of Kurt Russell.
That's great. It's not. It's just that bit where the legs come out of the head. It's just. I don't care who you are. That's awful. That bit with the dog. It's just. Oh no, what's going on? This is just not good. Really horrible. I once read a fanfic, and it was really good. And if I can find it, I'll send it you. And it was the plot of The Thing from the perspective of The Thing.
Okay.
And it wasn't this evil creature that wants to devour everything. It was this hive mind that had landed in this cold, barren wasteland and was lonely as fuck because it didn't have anything to connect to. And all it wanted was just to join everything and make everything one so that it would feel like a community, like a hive again. And that's what he's saying. All these people are getting really angry and violent and just trying to kill me. And all I want to do is make them one glorious together.
The thing isn't evil. It's just a creature doing what it does.
Yeah, well, it even gives it a level of sentience that it maybe doesn't have in the film. That it just wants to be one with everything. And it's like, that's really good and really clever. I kind of like that. So yeah, it's The Thing is a fantastic movie, and like I say, Critter's not on that level, but I think it still deserves a remake.
Yeah, and it could be good and fun, and they can easily expand it and do some new and interesting things with it. Because one family stuck in a farmhouse, it's like it probably wouldn't work nowadays. Expand it a bit more, go a bit more Gremlins like maybe, and have them invade the whole town and go wild
at Christmas.
Yeah, why not? I don't think they could get away with Christmas.
that might pull too many. It's Gremlins.
Although I think the second one they set it at Easter, which I think was a bit of a dig at Gremlins in a way.
Yeah,
it's like you've got Christmas, well we've got Easter, because they killed the guy in the Easter Bunny outfit.
Thanksgiving should be the next one.
Yeah. I was going to say 4th of July, but then Jaws has that one, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's always going to be Jaws, I'm afraid. You can't have 4th of July. I mean, I'm surprised they've not made Gremlins again. Not done another Gremlins. I guess 2 killed it off by virtue of it not being very good. Not as good as the first one, anyway.
2 was just fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen that Key and Peele sketch?
Yeah.
There were no wrong answers here. Electric gremlin. That's in the film. It's like female gremlin in the film. It's like none of those are in the film. All of these ideas were in the film. It's a fucking great sketch, is that? Bloody mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they need to sort of... If they're going to remake it, I mean, it's going to be really difficult. You can't remake the first Gremlins. You maybe can do a continuation of it. But it's like when they redid The Karate Kid, it was never going to work.
No.
And to be fair, most of it, 99% of it, doesn't. The last bit, with Jackie Chan versus the evil trainer, that works. But that's because it's a Jackie Chan movie by that point.
Have you seen the stuff for the new Karate Kid movie?
I didn't know there was one.
I'm just going to bring it up on my computer.
There's another new one.
It's called... Oh, okay. It's not a movie. It's a series.
Oh, the web series, the Cobra Kai one.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, no, yeah. I haven't seen any of it. It was on Netflix, I think it's going to be on, is it?
I think so, yeah. I saw the trailer for it, and I thought, okay, this is actually a smart way of carrying it on. They've totally stolen it from Creed, but I don't care because Creed was brilliant, and this could be really good as well.
Well, to be fair, the Karate Kid was stolen from Rocky.
Yeah.
Even Bill Conti did the music, for fuck's sake. So it is just Rocky at the end of the day. Only he wins. Everybody forgets that about the original Rocky. He doesn't win. He loses. But only on points, and he goes the distance. So I think the problem is people can't, or they don't understand how boxing works. Or sport. They don't understand how sport works. It's like, yeah, it's not always about winning if you're like because he's not a proper boxer even. He's just like a brawler.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be a squash match, effectively a squash match. Creed's supposed to go in there, batter the shit out of him and say, look, I can take anybody on. And he doesn't. And that's why in 2, Creed is mental and wants to bloody have Rocky again.
It's like, yeah, because the public are like, well, but you won. He's like, but I didn't. Because to him, he didn't win. And
yeah.
Oh, I love the Rocky films. Except 5.
Apollo,
5 is a bit ropey, but...
What? What are you talking about, woman?
It's the least good.
You're joking. It's not the best one. 4's the best one, but it's amazing. It's Rocky 5. It's an underrated classic because it's all about him not fighting. It's basically you know that bit in any Bruce Lee film at the start where he's been told by his mum you're not allowed to fight. It's that. Only Rocky's being told if you fight you die.
Look, I'm not saying it's not a good film, but compared to the rest of the Rocky film, because all of the Rocky films are brilliant.
I'll take that. I don't agree with you that it's not as good as the other ones. It's brilliant. It's got Don King getting punched in the balls. Come on now. It's got Betrayal. It's got Peter Petrelli from Heroes, isn't it? And he's in the new one, isn't he? He's still his son. Because isn't he his son in real life or something? Milo, blah, blah, blah. He's in This Is 40 or whatever it is.
I know he played his son, but I don't know.
I heard he... No. I got it. It was a different kid in Rocky 5, and then it is Peter Petrelli in the later film.
Yeah, it was his actual
Rocky
son
6.
in 5, and then...
Yeah, then Rocky 6, it was Milo, whatever his name is. Peter Petrelli.
Yeah, the guy from Heroes.
I still haven't seen all of Creed. I need to see all of it. I certainly need to see Creed 2. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
You need to watch Creed.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of it. Because Michael B. Jordan's ace.
I was astounded that, a Sylvester Stallone film, especially with how cheesy yet brilliant Stallone is, like that film made me cry so many times.
He's a brilliant actor.
It's amazing.
He's or things like Copland. I think a long time people forgot how good an actor he is. When he did Copland, and people were like, "Oh, he can act."
Yeah.
Yes, he can act. He's a good actor. But yeah, I do want to say, and I say Creed 2 because obviously it's Drago's son, and it's like.
As soon as they said that's what it was going to be, I just had chills all over. I was like, that's going to be amazing.
Dolph's in it as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's like Dolph Lundgren. I fucking love Dolph Lundgren. He's ace.
He's He-Man.
He's fucking He-Man. And he's finally accepted it. He's got to that point in his career where he can say, do you know what? It was all right. I'm kind of glad people liked it. Nimoy did the same thing as Spock, didn't he? He's like, I'm not Spock. Call me Spock. Interesting enough, never something that Patrick Stewart did. He's always sort of accepted Jean-Luc Picard. Interesting enough, he coming back too.
Oh, that is
the 80s.
Yeah, I loved that news. I love Picard.
The later years.
It's going to be awesome.
Of course, it's going to be awesome.
Whatever they do, it could be 45 minutes every week of him sitting, reading a book, drinking tea, and I would love the shit out of it.
Just got to be him being reasonable at things, isn't it? I also remember reading something about 40k Warhammer, and they got this homebrew faction called the Reasonable Marines. Basically, Jean-Luc Picard is basically their Primarch. Because they're what Space Marines would actually be, instead of the ridiculous shit that goes on in the Space Marines. What they'd actually be is this really good fighting force that went around the galaxy sorting stuff out and then just buggering off. that's what they go around, use diplomacy and shit to try and diffuse situations. And I say Jean-Luc Picard is their Primarch, unlike the Angry Marines, which is my favourite homebrew, because they just have guns, big guns with "fuck off" written on it. Seriously, if you've never seen the Angry Marines, just put Angry Marines into Twitter, and it's not into Twitter, into Google, and it's so funny. I just guffawed my way through a whole night just reading the stuff about it. But so he's coming back. He's Jean-Luc Picard. Quick bit of geek news as well. They cast Batwoman.
Yeah, I just saw that literally about 10-15 minutes before we started.
And it's actually a damn good choice. It's Ruby Rose who's going to be doing it. That's a great choice for Batwoman.
See, I've never seen her in anything that I can think about, so I don't know what she's like as an actor. But
she's good.
Just like really the look of her, and it's like, yeah, short red hair. She'd look like Kate. And okay, I've seen some people complain that they didn't cast a Jewish person in the role, but at least they cast someone who is gay in the role.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's well known for being a bit of a lesbian.
Yeah, and this is like the most prominent lesbian superhero, really. Well, she's got Bat in her superhero name, so pretty big.
Just checking now. I don't know. Is she Jewish? She's called Langenheim. So it's possible she could actually be Jewish.
Maybe.
Her real name is Ruby Rose Langenheim. So I'm thinking she might actually be Jewish.
Which would be cool, because I only went on what I saw people saying online. It was either people going, this is awesome, or it could be better. But I looked at her and went, Yeah, I could see her in the role. And it's a big name for the CW to get as well.
I think the thing is as well is that a lot of companies and a lot of casting is being pushed to a weird place because now people are demanding that you have to be the thing you're playing. So you can't not be gay to play a gay man, or you can't not be a gay woman to play a gay woman. Which I think, on one hand, I agree with it. On the other hand, I think it's a dangerous road to go down.
Yeah, it's nice to have the representation.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of, like, some really iconic performances of straight people playing gay or gay people playing straight. It's like David Hyde Pierce in Frasier.
Yeah, he could never play Niles if you go in
Neil Patrick Harris in How I Met Your Mother. And,
well, exactly. You've got Neil Patrick Harris play this aggressively heterosexual man.
Yeah, and both of those roles are brilliant.
Yeah, and if you go down the road of you can only be X to play X, then you wouldn't have had those, similarly, Magneto, nah, sorry, Ian McKellen, you can't play that role, you gay.
Certain things you can agree with, like, yeah, don't put people in blackface anymore.
Yeah, or any kind of,
sexuality,
don't whitewash it.
I think, yeah, you can, if the person is right for the role, good.
Yeah.
It's better to have the best version of the character, but if they are a gay person playing gay or a lesbian playing lesbian, that's just a bonus, really.
Yeah, and you know what? I think with Batwoman, I would agree you probably needed a lesbian actress to play her. Because it's a very important role.
Yeah, and it's a huge part of her character as well. It's not...
Yeah.
Part of it is like, from when she first appeared in 52, it was her relationship with Renee Montoya was a huge part of that story. So,
see, that kind of excites me. That I'm hoping that because they can't do Maggie because Maggie is with if it's all the same DC universe, and I'm assuming it is, then Maggie was with what's her face, Supergirl's sister.
Yeah.
Although I don't know whether she's with her anymore. I'm
going to be in the CW universe, so they've mentioned, I think it's going to be Earth 1, so they could in theory do Maggie and have it that universe's version, but I'd be more excited to see them do Renee Montoya as the Question.
Oh yeah, because the Question.
Yeah, Question's brilliant.
And have her be trained by Vic as well. And then in an ultimate fanboy move, get Jeffrey Combs to play Vic. Because it was Jeffrey Combs in Justice League Unlimited, wasn't it? So it's like he was the best Question.
It might not be beyond the realms of possibility, because look at the other iconic sort of horror actors they've had in the CW provide voices. They could just have someone with no face and just get him in the booth to record the dialogue and it would work.
To be fair, when you're in the DCU, you're there for life because you will be playing so many other characters. It's like Terrence Stamp ended up doing, he was Jor-El in Smallville, and you got... like Malcolm McDowell playing different roles in DC stuff as well, and
Clancy Brown always turns up, and Mark Hamill in The Flash, yeah.
Yeah, he was great in The Flash as well. Clancy Brown's got to be in everything because he's the best Lex Luthor.
He is Lex Luthor, yeah.
See, people go on about very, very quickly, but people go on about Mark Hamill's iconic Joker. It's like, yeah, but you got to admit, Clancy Brown, iconic Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
You also had Michael Rosenberg as well, who was the Flash in the Justice League cartoons, and obviously he was the really good Lex Luthor in Smallville.
See, I've not seen all Smallville, but even from what I've seen, it's like I look at him and go, yeah, he's all right as Lex, but he's the Flash for me. If I got to think of a role for him, the Flash comes to mind first, because Justice League was brilliant with him as the Flash.
One of my favourite things the Justice League cartoon did was swap the Flash and lightsaber.
That episode was brilliant.
Are you going to wash your hands? No, because I'm evil.
Well, at least I can find out who the Flash is. I have no idea who this is.
Just fantastic.
That episode is one of the best.
They're all the best. It's like, I think we were talking the other day about Booster Gold.
I love Booster.
the greatest story never told and all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. I think it was all about Duncan and me going on about how great that episode is. It's like booster goals. That's his MVP episode, is that? Especially seeing as he actually does save the universe in that one as well. So, just fantastic stuff. And it's great because we've got our first transgender superhero as well, going to be in Supergirl.
Yeah, Dreamer.
Yeah. Being played
cool.
by a transgender person as well. DC Universe, I hope they get the film side of things sorted, because the TV and cartoon side of things, they always knock it out of the park. Always.
Yeah.
I remember when they said The Flash is coming on television, and people are like, I don't know if that'll work. It worked. And it was brilliant. Then they said Supergirl. I said, I don't know about Supergirl, and no, it's not going to work. Absolutely worked. I love Supergirl. It's a great series. Interesting enough, Supergirl's going to be in the DCEU as well now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Bringing her in. Which is good, because it means more Superman as well, probably.
Yeah. It's like, those films are getting better, I think.
Yeah. I think Shazam's going to save it.
Yeah.
I think
and then Aquaman as well. I think Wonder Woman is the point where it started to turn around, because I enjoyed Man of Steel, but then Superman v Batman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League, they were okay, but they weren't great. They should have wowed me, especially BVS and Justice League. They should have been Avengers level, and it was just, it's okay.
I think had those films come out before Avengers, then people would have been wowed up. I just think because Marvel got there first, people expected something, and it's hard. It's really difficult to come, because the Avengers was iconic, the original one. It's still a good film, and it's nearly 10 years after the fact. It's 6-7 years after the fact.
Yeah.
Gonna say though, I'm still not that impressed with Infinity War. He was all right.
I enjoyed it. I've only seen it the once, so I need to see it again to form an opinion. But I thought it was good.
I enjoyed it. It was good. Went on a bit, but it was good. The Thor bits were the best bits.
Yeah.
I'll say it now. And I did see Ant-Man and the Wasp at the weekend. Very good. Enjoyed it. Recommend it. Paul Rudd's great and everything though. But I think DC are starting, because Shazam, said it before, say it again, I can't wait for Shazam. It looks fantastic. And I really love Zachary Levi in it. I think they got the tone right, because it just looks like big. Which it needed to. It needs to be that.
Yeah. And I love the character, although I still think of him as Captain Marvel, mainly because I used to read the JSA run that Jeff Johns did, and since then, I've loved the character, and Black Adam as well. I think they're both great, and
I love Black Adam.
I imagine Black Adam and The Rock playing him will be the second film. If they get the first one right and then do that, I think that would be amazing. I'm looking forward to the sequel more than the first one.
I'm really happy they've got. Oh no, I'm quite looking for. I quite like Dr. Sivana.
Yeah, he is cool. Mark Strong looks great as him.
Yeah, it just means he ain't going to be playing Sinestro anymore. That's a shame. But
he was the only good thing about that film, but that also means we lose all the shit from that film.
Oh yeah, well, it never happened now, did it? Different universe now, but I kind of want to see who they're going to get to play Sinestro, because they're going to have him in it, aren't they?
Well, he's one of the best Lantern characters ever, so it'd be weird if they didn't.
The best Lantern character ever.
I do Sinestro.
Apart from Guy Gardner, obviously. Guy Gardner's awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, Savannah's great. I hope they have a place for Mr. Mind in there as well. I do love me some Mr. Mind.
Even if it's a little hint, but just acknowledge him somehow.
Yeah. Well, realistically, he could be the mastermind behind everything.
Yeah.
Good Mr. Mind. And it's happened before that, you've had evil Mr. Mind before. Like completely evil, totally badass. So yeah, you could totally do that. And so that looks good. Like I say, Aquaman looked great as well. Patrick Wilson looks great as Orm.
Black Manta.
Oh, dude. I'm so happy.
Fucking awesome does that look? It's like, that is straight off the comic page.
Absolutely.
And it could have looked so stupid and cheesy, but he looks amazing.
It's fucking great. And it's like, if I've had people asking me who he is, and I basically said he's basically evil Black Panther. because effectively that's who he is obviously, or Killmonger, I suppose, even eviler Killmonger.
Yeah.
In the comics, especially, because he ended up killing Arthur's son. So, he's not a nice man in any way, shape, or form. So that looks really good. And like I say, Wonder Woman 84, Maxwell Lord's in that. Because Patty Jenkins,
I didn't hear that.
Wow.
I know Cheetah was in it, but
they've
Max
not
Lord.
officially said it. They, what's his name? Pedro Paul.
Oh, Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones
and Kingsman.
He's Lord.
Well, Patty Jenks posted a picture. If you look on Patty Jenkins' timeline, she posted a picture the other day of him in a business suit with blonde hair in the back of a limo, and that was the first place my mind went to was Max Lord.
That would be amazing.
Because Wonder Woman, it's like, we all know how he's going to end up. I don't know if he'll end up like that in that film, but yeah.
Maybe if they keep him around, and then do basically
JLA. Or JLA,
yeah,
sorry.
Do the mind control of Superman thing and have her kill him. That would be amazing.
That would be. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Spoilers.
It's like a 15-year-old comic now. I think
yeah,
spoilers are right.
Yeah, I think we're all right. Anyway, yeah. Then Critters, eh? What about them Critters?
Yeah, well, we went off on topic, didn't we?
That never happened. But there you go. Excellent stuff. Amy, been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
It's awesome to get geeks on and just talk geek stuff and stuff. Yeah. So you'll come back on again, won't you?
Oh, definitely.
Excellent stuff. In the meantime, though, where can you be found on the old wide world of the interwebs?
I'm on Twitter. You can find me at amazing_Amy_W. And if you want to hear me in more podcasts, I've got my own show, Eccentric Earth. It's a fun little history show where I get a guest in every week who has no idea what to expect and give them a weird, wonderful, horrific story from history. And it's a good bit of fun. And you yourself have been on that, and I think you've enjoyed it.
It was all right, wasn't it? It was okay. It turned out fine.
Yeah, and we're on all the podcast providers as Eccentric Earth, and we're on Twitter, Acast, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Basically, most of the social media platforms and podcast providers, you can find us as Eccentric Earth. So come check us out because it's a good bit of fun.
Yes, well, I think so. I've always enjoyed listening to it and enjoyed being on it. So, go listen. It's very, very good. If you want to find me, you can find me, Glenn Jakeman, on Facebook, and on Twitter, it's at Cymru Nerdcave, currently known as Big Six Energy, but there you go. Also on Twitter, with Back to the 80s, it's at BTTE Pod, and Facebook is facebook.com/BTTE Pod. I am on YouTube. I haven't made any videos for a little while, but I'm going to rectify that very soon with a tour around the Nerd Cave, and then now I've got it all sorted, I'm going to be doing toy videos again, and Doctor Who stuff, and all kinds of weird and wonderful stuff, because I don't know if you heard, Doctor Who's coming back soon, so I'm a bit excited about that. With our first gender swap Doctor. Finally, we get to see what she's actually like.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool.
Plus, we get to see Bradley Walsh every week, which is great.
Yeah, he doesn't look Bradley Walsh.
He's fucking awesome. I love Bradley Walsh.
Yeah.
But there you go. Excellent stuff. Amy, I'm going to let you pick what song we go out on this week.
Oh, God. Oh, I wish you'd have given me a warning. I feel really on the spot now.
Yeah, I know.
What about the Critters theme tune?
Fair enough. The Critters theme tune it is, from the score of Critters. We shall do that. And also the close down this week is going to be from Anglia from 1987, with a little message as to things going on in the Anglia area as well, which is always really cool. Until next time. We'll see you later. I'm pretty certain it's going to be Andy next, who hasn't picked his subject, so I can't tell you what it is, but he will be on next. And then I think we've got Jenny. We'll be talking some positive things from the 80s, because we're sick of this negativity that's in the world at the moment, because everyone just seems to be shouting at each other. But That's stuff coming up. For now, Amy, thank you for being on again. Please do say goodbye to all the lovely people out there.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. It's been great, and I hope you enjoy the show.
It's been emotional. It's a bit late to say that. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
And now a special announcement if you live in the Shefford area of Bedfordshire. Owing to a breakdown of the Shefford telephone exchange, people living in that area who require emergency services should go to the Shefford fire station, which will be manned throughout the night. If you live in the Shefford area of Bedfordshire, you should go to the local fire station to contact the emergency services. And that's the end of this special announcement. And now our final programme this evening, introduced by Canon Ivan Bailey. And that brings us to the end of another evening. So, from all of us here at Anglia Television, this is Helen McDermott wishing you a very good night. Good night. The voice in the dark, back again to say don't forget to switch off your sets and fill up your hot water bottles. Good night.